Chorlton cum Hardy proper. And there's some photos in the blue folder that's hopefully circulating around the bus. If you know, make sure you get hold of it a few times, because it really will enhance the story as we go through time and space today, and the Hardy family life. Yeah. To that side, that is one of the houses that the Hardy family had as they kept changing properties on a sort of an increasing scale. The houses got bigger, and also just at the end of the war and early on after the war, a sister Kath lived, and you know, it was from here the Ashmore family sprang before they moved away from the area. Mandy's going to prompt us on a few things that along here, the churches and the
St John's Church on your left is the family church. Right, now we're just coming up to Edge Lane. On the left hand side here, it's the second house on the left, by just where this, in between these lampposts. If we could just stop for a minute here.
Probably block the pavement there. Yeah.
And the second house it's called Radnor House, and it never looked like that when none of us, any of us remember it. But everybody's the older generation we've got today is that Tricia's dad Dudley was born here. Eileen's dad and David's dad was Peter's. Uncle Cecil was born here. My mother, Berta, and Mark's mum, Kath. And also Eileen, I think is named after, also was born here, and she sadly died at aged 15. But that was the family house, and that was also where Eamon de Valera, the President of Ireland, was hid when he escaped from Lincoln jail, not known in any other circles other than our immediate family, and he was hidden there for several days, and Tricia's dad Dudley had to take him to the pictures at Chorlton because he was such a tall man. It was thought that sitting in the dark in the picture house was the safest place to go. So poor Uncle Dudley had many a long hour sat with him.
And we'll be hearing more about the amazing escape of de Valera from Lincoln Jail on our way back from Manchester Cathedral down to the cemetery later in the afternoon. So it's quite an incredible story, and we'll be hearing more about that. But also in your blue folder there are pictures taken along Edge Lane. Really, if you know, right in this vicinity, there's actually pictures of the house here, 1959. There are pictures of the church and the rectory, and also pictures following on as we come back round into Wilbraham Road. And they all seem to come into the story at some stage. I think we have to look at it as like a huge jigsaw puzzle, and all we've got really is a few nice bits with straight edges that we've been able to link here and there. Houses, properties, I suppose you could include in that, and then a few fragments in the middle, and somebody's nicked all the rest of the jigsaw puzzle, and you know, we're probably never going to know what the whole picture looked like. We can only guess, but this is certainly you know, integral to the story of the Hardys, and we've got to cast our mind back to the early 20th century when they came here. They'd made their way from a house on Oswald Road, they'd had their house on Holland Park Road, Zetland Road that you just saw in the corner, and they ended up at Edge Lane. And it was at Edge Lane here that I tentatively entered, hippie as I was, to meet Berta and Sid. And but it wasn't to be that long before Berta finally left the house, but there was a light bulb in the cellar which lasted from before the Second World War, and it was still going when they left here. Makes you wonder if it's still going in there now, doesn't it?
Yeah, Mum said she put the light bulb in. The light bulb went the day war broke out in 1939, and it was still there when we left the house. So that was one light bulb that was well worth the money. So.
Oh, it's all new to me, this is.
Come on, we want our picture.
Yes, you're on, you're on.
They've made money. They made money in common, as everybody had over the years in Manchester, or a lot of people had. And if you're Irish, you come to escape the potato famine, you've got a job in the cotton industry. But when we look back, we're not talking about that. You know, if we get into the grim up north, well, I think it was more actually as much as money, and the family made their fortune in it. And the main one we're going to see is where Patrick Hastings lived in Mayo Lodge, which is just on the corner here. Now, it's Mayo Lodge. This is the family house where Patrick Hastings lived. Again, if you think that before it was a pub, it was a private house, it was a very substantial residence. And it was all, as far as I can see in the picture, it was one house. It might have been the end of it. This is Mayo Lodge. It's the last one. It's actually numbered on Oswald Road rather than on... Yeah, no, that's another one down there. That was one of the party ones, whereas this was the Hastings one. I don't think there's one property you'll see that's at its peak. But CHORLTON's becoming trendy again, so you know, I'm sure that the actual property prices are quite high now. So that's a Hastings one, and going to Hastings Avenue. This is the Hastings family came from Mayo Lodge in the corner, another pub. Hastings Avenue is here. Down the bottom on the right, where Mark is almost now.
So what's happened then is, where did all this money go? I'm sorry.
There's actually, I think, down here as well. Oh, there's the dirt. The dirt on there, and then there's the milk on the other side. But I did find it, yeah. But if you look again at the style of house, they're very similar, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, what you can do from the day is the photos you take, you can look at them against the ones we've scanned, and we can try and learn something out of it. You having this one?
Yeah.
Just out of the way, down. Not too much traffic outside the door. Oswald Road. We're going to go down near the junction which takes us around the corner to the right to the swimming baths, and this one.
Yes. That's where I learned to swim.
Yeah. Eileen learned to swim there.
Yeah.
Where Eileen learnt to swim.
Stop here.
Avenue.
Vincent Avenue.
There.
Okay. On our, sorry, just put, on our right is Vincent Avenue.
It's our left here.
No, it's on my right.
It's on your right.
Was Vincent Avenue, which we discovered this morning from Mark and Trish. That was the other road built by Oak Door. And we're going to turn right now. Sorry. Going to turn right here and head down towards CHORLTON Baths, where Eileen learnt to swim, no doubt, perhaps some others.
And I learnt to swim.
Mandy learnt to swim there. And when we get to the junction, we're going to turn right And tell you a few anecdotes.
Home truths.
Two home truths from Trish.
This house, 86 Brantingham Road, was built for my parents after they got married. There's a photograph of the house actually being built, and if you open the front porch, there's a stone. There's a photograph of my mother putting the stone in, say 1936, foundation stone. It was in front of it, over the road, always used to be a farm when we first moved here. That was good. Played there for years. During the war, there were 5 incendiary bombs in a circle around our house. The roof came in. Sometimes the windows went out. Sometimes they came in. But I can remember being in my cot in the dining room, and there's a big dining table and things on the side, and I can remember climbing out of the cot and dancing along this sideboard and hearing my parents coming and thinking, oh my God, I've got to get back into the cot before I get told off. And I thought I was slept downstairs for a couple of months, but reading my mother's diaries, it was at least 3 years before the roof was mended. My mum was mad on gardening. It was absolutely fantastic. It was built on the site of 3 tennis courts, so you can tell how far back it goes.
And the air raid shelter was turned into a garden shed after the war, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we all used to spend hours in that.
We always used to have afternoon tea on the floor.
And of course, for those younger members who don't know, I was an only one. And so every summer I went to stay with Eileen and all her little brothers for a fortnight, and then Eileen came to stay with me for a fortnight. So we've both got memories of that and all the things we used to get up to.
Why don't we go down the garden?
Well, I can't really. Somebody's living in it.
Well, we own it.
We own it. No. Don't want to upset Margaret. No. But Mum used to have garden parties and things in there. It was absolutely beautiful. But it's very upsetting for me to walk down there now and see the mess it's in.
It was the most beautiful garden of the whole family, wasn't it? It really was, because Auntie Elsa was such a keen gardener. It was the most stunning garden. And of course, Uncle Dudley used to
We had all the bees at the bottom.
And so, like Tricia said about coming to Wales, but then I used to come down to Beaumaris for a fortnight in school holidays with my little cousins.
And I remember when Uncle Dudley kept bees, cleaning cups for him for cooking when I was on holiday.
Yes, my dad used to keep the bees and he showed the honey, and he used to win so many cups. So I used to be given 2 and 6pence to clean them all. Now that's about £5.
I can
We've
remember
got lots
having
of
that.
photographs of them,
I can remember that.
So it's all very...
When we get down to
Your father
that's what that is, you know.
Yes,
I wasn't sure about
yes,
that.
yes, I remember you
I wasn't,
drinking it.
honey
you know, and
cakes.
eating it.
Honey
but I thought,
cake, yes.
right in the bloody middle.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to...
Eileen Hardy went to the college there, and it was her that caught flu just after the end of the First World War.
Notre Dame.
Is it Notre Dame?
She went to Notre Dame.
But who went to Loretto?
Tricia
Okay, Trish went to Loretto.
and me.
Okay.
Oh, and you
And
did you?
Eileen
For a
went
short
to Loretto.
Mum was ill.
So the roads around here, but the whole place, as I say, has been knocked down, redeveloped, knocked down, redeveloped, and somewhere around here is Dorset and Bristol Street, and that's the places that feature on the photographs that have been laminated and included in all your folders, and which we saw at the back, which became the GMX, and now we're told is central again. And the goods vehicles came to it on specially constructed iron viaducts. There's huge marshalling yards at the back there, and I think there is a picture in the blue folder of the marshalling yards at the back. They're at the back of this portico in the front here, and there was rather an incredible system of hydraulic lifts which lifted up the goods wagons to the various levels within the warehouse.
We used to have a Lifting Heights brewery, the same, all on hydraulics. There was a there were 3 big pumping stations in Manchester, and the whole of it's all full of cast iron pipe.
Well, we continue our way down Deansgate. As I say, remember a lot of these buildings were either warehouses and of course also buildings put up by the philanthropists who made their money through cotton. And we're going to next to Lloyd Street. Now, Lloyd Street was another road that was covered in warehouses, and these days there's lots of shops, well, not shops but offices. I no doubt there's things like solicitors' offices and places like that, and the family firm at this stage, when Trish's dad Dudley took over it at number 45 to 47, was called Progress Packers.
Because I've been there.
Oh, yeah, just on the left there, and it runs through to Queen Street.
Now, what we're going to be doing is looking for somewhere where we can park, perhaps utilising Mandy's disabled disc, and this is going to be the scene of our morning coffee break.
There's parking spots here on your
left. On your left. And, yeah, turn right, I'd go back down there.
Turn right?
Yeah, turn right and park down there, it'd be easier.
So there's lots and lots of... because it's one way, isn't it?
Oh, right. Oh.
Yeah. Just bear with, we're going to find somewhere that's handy for parking up the bus.